Hello there. So I just thought I'd do a little video about this GSX-F that I'm going to say that I bought by mistake. So it's basically too fast. So during lockdown, I didn't have a bigger bike. So I normally have bigger bikes, but I didn't have one during lockdown. And I thought, right, I'm going to have to get a bike so I can go out and rebel. So I basically went on YouTube just looking for anything. And I am used to I've had a couple of sports bikes. I've had a ZXR 750 and a Honda SP1, the 1000 Twin, which is a bit of a monster. And then I've had 5 BMW touring bikes. I think I've had the 650, the 800, 1200 GS, 1150 GS and something else. And when you look at these GSX-Fs, everyone just thinks about the F bit. And people say, oh, they're a bit tame, or they're funny looking, or they're what your granddad has, or, you know, nobody, they don't have much standing in the motorcycling world. And I mistakenly thought that F would mean that, you know, it's set up for touring maybe, or it's, a little bit slower. Set up for touring, a bit long-legged, a bit of a plodder. You know, like the touring bikes that I'm sort of used to, sports touring bikes. However, I think what we've learned is that when we're looking at this bike and we're talking about GSX-Fs and everyone's thinking about the F, I think what we have to think about is that bit, GSX, because this bike, or the engine, is extremely aggressive. It will, so I've had a 2-stroke motocross bike, so I know how engines can explode into action, but this bike, the engine is unbelievable. If you go over a pothole and you turn that throttle by 0.5 millimeter, the bike just rockets forward. It is the fastest revving thing you could believe. In any gear, I've put the biggest cog I can on the front, so I've up-geared it. Is that what we say? Up-geared. So I've put the biggest sprocket possible on the front, just to try and calm it down a little bit, because it literally is screaming. It screams. You're in a corner, you need a little bit more speed in a corner, you turn the throttle as gently as you can, and the bloody thing is rocketing forward. It is just a beast. But you know, people in the sports bike world with your R1s, your normal Gixxers, Fireblades, whatever's out there, I can't remember, I'm a little bit dated as you can tell, but people in the sports bike world, you know about this. And yes, it is a bit funny that, of course, if I'd have done a bit of sensible research, I would have realised this, but I just thought, oh, big bodywork, massive seat, I just thought that it was going to be a bit of a plodder. However, it is not. And when you're thinking about a GSX-F, forget about the F, or think about the F standing for fast, because it is in no way, shape or form a lazy, spongy, overweight touring bike, or I wouldn't even call it a sports tourer. I wouldn't know what a sports tourer is if this was a sports tourer, because there's no tourer in it at all. It's just sports, and it's not even tame sports. It's an extremely aggressive, fast revving Rocket ship, it's absolutely rocket ship. In these little roads around North Wales where I'm riding, the thing is just screaming, and at 70 you can you can turn the throttle at 70 and it's as if it's doing 0. It will rocket away from 70 to God knows what speed. It is absolutely it's just a rocket ship. Extremely fast revving, responsive engine in any gear, at any speed. This engine just explodes into life with the shortest, smallest turn of the throttle. And whilst we're talking about this engine that Suzuki has made for a very long time in many different bikes, it is an absolute masterpiece of engineering. When I've got a few bikes, when I'm starting them up in the cold, I haven't touched them for about a month or so, they're all spluttering and coughing and doing all sorts of weird things. This thing, it starts up and it just runs beautifully, absolutely beautifully. It is amazing. It must be so well balanced, so finely tuned. It starts easily on a not very well charged battery, and it runs so cleanly. To think there's 4 carburetors in there, in God knows what condition. It runs so cleanly, so beautifully, even when you haven't touched it for a month. It's just unbelievable. And if anyone is interested in having this bike, I will be selling it. It's at some point. I want to use it a bit myself because I don't have another bike, but this is not the bike for me. I need a tourer, so this bike will be going, but whilst I have it, I am going to enjoy it. And if anyone is looking for a fast bike that was very, very cheap, just get a GSX-F. This is a 750. It is just extremely fast. Have a nice day.